Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Abdurrahman and I'm from Department of PS Chemistry. Today is my presentation topic is water pollution. So there is a table of contents, water pollution, types of water pollutants, source of water pollution, types of water pollution, effects of water pollution, treatment and management of water pollution. At the end of the discussion, we will conclusion of about this presentation. Water pollution. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies like lakes, rivers, ocean, and the groundwater. Water pollution occurs when pollutants are discharged directly or indirectly into water bodies without adequate treatment or remove harmful compounds. When we add some type of contamination like plastic bottles and other chemicals indirectly or indirectly into water. Um, so they remove harmful compounds in the water and then the water will be polluted. So it causes water pollution. Types of water pollutants. Those pollutants which cause water pollution, it's called as water pollutant. So first of all, pathogen is a major type of water pollutant. The pathogen can be bacteria, protozoa, bacteria, for example, are the commonly found in the water. It is when they start to increase in the number that are above safe level that water contamination occurs. Two of the most common pathogenic bacteria are coliform and E. coli bacteria. Coliform are normally present in the environmental in safe level and can actually be used to detect other pathogen in water. But when it increase in the number, they can be dangerous for the health of the environment. The presence of E. coli bacteria usually indicate that water has been contaminated with human or animal waste. Inorganic material, in particular heavy metal like arsenic, mercury, copper, chromium, zinc, and the barium, so harmless in very small concentrated, act the pollutant when they end up with the concentration in water. So this can be due to leaching from wastewater disposal, increasing human activity or industrial accident. This kind of water pollution, especially in higher concentration, can cause severe health problem in human, like can cause cancer and failure of kidney and other. It also harmful for other organisms which is living in the water or which can use the contaminated water. Organic material, these material contain molecules that have carbon in their makeup. One of the most frequently detect volatile organic chemical in methyl tert butyl ether, which is known as mtbe, formerly used as an air cleansing gas additive, although it is known as a banned chemical. It will take years before MBTE is thoroughly removed from contaminated water system. Water contaminated with this organic chemical cause leukemia, lymphoma, and tumor in the testicles, thyroid gland, and the kidneys. Macroscopic pollutants are the large visible item in waterways or bodies or water of water. The first common pollutant is trash, especially plastic waste. Plastic waste is often thrown directly into the large bodies of water illegally, but can also end up collecting in ocean and lake after being deposited in the stream and the rivers by accident. This has led to the formation of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is now the size of France. Other types of macroscopic pollutant include noodles, pieces of wood, metal, and even obvious things like shipwreck and the shipping container. This form of water pollution is arguably the most manageable. However, it is an the urgent environmental issue that these larger pollutants be removed in order to avoid disruption of aquatic ecosystem and the contamination from the chemical breakdown of these objects. Sources of water pollution. There are two major sources of water pollution: point source sources, source solution, and non-point sources solution. Point source pollution. When the contamination originates from the single source, it called as point source solution. Example, for example, include wastewater which is discharged legally or illegally by a manufacturer, oil refinery, or the wastewater treatment facility, as well as the contamination from leaking septic system, the chemical and the oil spill and illegal dumping. The EPA regulate point source pollution by establishing limits on what can be discharged by the facility directly into a body of water. While source pollution originate from a specific place, just only specific label like it can affect miles of waterways and ocean. For example, by a sewage system, it is also a common example of point source pollution. Non-point source pollution um, is a contamination that derived from diffuse resources. This may include agriculture and the stormwater runoff or debris blown into waterways. So, non-point sources basically is a type of source in which we cannot be determined where the pollution will become. So that's why it is known as a non-point source pollution. We can You can see that there is a point source solution which is released by a sewerage system or through a pipe, whereas the everything except this is example of non-point solution. Types of water pollution. Agriculture. Not only is the agriculture sector is the biggest consumer of global freshwater resources, with the farming and the livestock production using about 70% of the Earth's surface water supplies, but it is also a serious water polluter. Around the world, agriculture is a leading cause of water degradation. Agriculture pollution is a top source of contamination in rivers and the stream, the second biggest source in the wetland, and the third main source in lake. It is also a major contributor of contamination to estuaries and the groundwater. Every time it rains, fertilizer, pesticides, and animal waste from farms and livestock operation wash nutrients and pathogens such as bacteria and viruses and into our waterways. Nutrients pollution caused by excessive nitrogen and phosphorus in water or air is a number of one threat of water quality worldwide and can cause algal bloom, a toxic soap of blue-green algae that can be harmful for people and other wildlife because it cannot be passed sunlight through it, and uh, in the water there is no photosynthesis occur, and then plants or fishes or other aquatic species can be died. Sewage and the wastewater. Use wastewater in the use water is a wastewater. It comes from our sink, shower, and toilets, and from commercial industries and agriculture activities. The term also includes some stormwater runoff, which occurs when the rainfall carries road salts, oil, grease, chemicals, and the debris from impermeable surface into our waterways. More than 80% of the world's wastewater flows back into the environment without being treated or reused. So, according to the United Nations, some least developed country figure top 95% pollute our waters due to wastewater. But according to the EPA estimate, our national aging, the easily overwhelmed when sewage treatment system also release more than 850 billion gallon of untreated wastewater each year. So the least developed countries are release untreated water into the river or freshwater bodies, which is approximately 850 gallons billions gallons. Arsenic monitored cities of Punjab. So, as I mentioned in previous slides, that due to the leaching of metal and some other point sources or non-point sources, the arsenic monitored cities of Punjab. You can see that in the bar chart that in the Punjab, Sialkot have the 20% arsenic in release 20% arsenic in water, and Sheikhupura 73, whereas Lahore, Kasur, and Multan, which is and Bahawalpur has the highest segment in this case. Oil pollution. Big spills maybe dominate headlines, but consumers account for the vast majority of oil polluted in overseas due to accidentally or some natural purpose, some due to some natural sources, oil discharge in our water, which is cause water oil pollution in water, and oil seep is a system is a process in which oil release from our grounds under the ocean, which is distract out, and it is also cause oil pollution, and it can be harmful for aquatic life as well as human life. So here is a picture of different kinds of pollution. You can see that there is a natural oil sea, which is 47.3% in the ocean. In the under the ground, the oil discharge out and will be mix up in the water surface, and as well as the transportation accident or the extraction of petroleum industries also the cause oil pollution. Radioactive substances. Radioactive substances waste is any pollution that emits radiation beyond what is naturally released by environment. It's generated by uranium mining, nuclear power plants, and the productions and the testing of military weapons, as well as by universities and the hospitals that use radioactive material for research and the medicine. Radioactive waste can be produced in the form of radiation or in the form of rays or in the form of gases molecule when comes out in the atmosphere and react with the water rainwater, and then it comes out in the freshwater bodies or in the ocean, will be cause radioactive pollution in water. So this is, you can see that it is an industry radioactive fallout, and which is mixing up with the rainwater, and then it um, come down and then mix with the rain, mix with freshwater bodies. When animals and humans use this water, they can be also um, cause of water radioactive pollution. Effects of water pollution on the environment and as well as on the human health. Water pollution truly harmed biodiversity and aquatic ecosystem. That toxic chemicals can change the color of water and increase the amount of mineral. Also known as eutrophication, which has bad impact on the life in water. Thermal pollution, defined by a rise in the temperature of water bodies, contribute global warming and cause serious hazard to water organisms. Water pollution has very negative effect on public health. A lot of diseases result from drinking or being in contact with contaminated water, such as diarrhea, cholera, typhoid, dysentery, and other waterborne diseases. In zones where there is no available drinking water, the main risk is dehydration. Obviously, coagulation and fluctuation is a process in which we can treat our water. Coagulation and fluctuation are often the first step in treatment of water. Chemical with the positive charge are added to the water. The positive charge, these chemicals utilize the negative charge of dirt and other dissolved particles in the water. They can combine with the electrostatic force uh, uh, and purify our water. When this occurs, the particles bind with the chemical and form larger particle called as fog. So we can remove fog in our water, and our water will be treated. Sedimentation. During the sedimentation, fog settle to the bottom of the water supply. Due to its weight, the settling process is called sedimentation. This is we can done it with the gravitational force. um, when we rotate the whole water in a tank, and then due to the heavy weight of the sedimentation, they the pollutant will be settled down, and our water can be treated. Filtration. Once the flock has settled to the bottom of the water supply, the clear water on the top will be passed through filter of varying composition and the pore sizes in order to remove dissolved particles such as dust, parasites, bacteria, viruses, and chemical. And then we add disinfection for kill our pathogens, bacteria, and other viruses to protect the water from germs, and then pipe to the home and businesses. This is the whole scenario for treatment of water. First, the process of coagulation, then the sedimentation, after that filtration, and then disinfection. Then it's stored in the tanks, and then it distribute to the homes and for business purposes. Conclusion. Water pollution is a global issue, and the world community is facing the worst result of polluted water. Major sources of water pollution are discharging the domestic and agricultural waste, population growth, excessive use of pesticide and fertilizer in urbanization. Bacterial, viral, and the parasitic diseases are spreading through polluted water and affecting human health. It is recommended recommended that there should be proper waste disposal system and the waste should be treated before entering into river. The educational and the awareness program should be organized and the government should be make some legislation against those by water can be polluted to control the water pollution. Thank you. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.